Perhaps a little bit of self-advertisement, you know. Everybody else in the room in white tie-and-tails and just one man in a kilt. After all, if you can't advertise yourself, what hope have you of being able to advertise anything else? This thing, you may have seen it. It was a bestseller in 13 languages, and it still required reading in business schools all over the world. I was able to predict how many people would see a motion picture before it was filmed.
I've had about 10 great ideas in my life, advertising ideas, which isn't many, it's more than most people have had. Advice, I talk for hours on this subject. First thing I say is be more ambitious. Don't bunt. When you get a job to do a storyboard or an ad, try and hit the ball out of the park every time. Don't bunt. Compete with the immortals. If you're going to do an automobile campaign, try and make it the greatest automobile campaign that any agency's ever done at any period. I didn't write that headline. It's a quotation from an article which had appeared about 20 years before in an English automobile magazine. Good ad, all facts, no adjectives, all specific, sold a lot of cars. Try and inject into every commercial you make a touch of singularity, a burr that will hook onto the consumer's mind. I'd read a book called Attention and Interest Factors in Advertising by Hal Rudolph, who'd been the research director in the wonderful Getchell agency. And he'd got a factor which he called story appeal in picture. And he showed that the more story appeal there was in a picture, in a photograph, the more people would look at your ad. So I wanted to do an ad for these Hathaway shirts. And I wanted to find this magic ingredient of story appeal. So after dinner one night at home, I sat down, wrote 18 ideas for this Hathaway advertising for the story appeal element. The 18th was the eye patch, and that was the one we used. And that lasted for 19 years, that campaign. Because it's pretty good advertising apart from this, the eye patch. The copy is very good. It's all about the product. We don't mess around. I don't believe in tricky advertising. I don't believe in cute advertising. I don't believe in comic advertising. The people who perpetrate that kind of advertising have never had to sell anything in their lives. Tell the truth, but make the truth fascinating. You know, you can't bore people into buying your product. You can only interest them in buying it.
Listen to the sound of the Maxwell House coffee pot at work.
Top quality gasolines are blends of various ingredients. Each is there for a reason. We're about to demonstrate a mileage ingredient called platformate.
You know, the more you tell, generally, the more you sell.
1 gallon. We start and let her go.
Try and get great ideas that nobody's ever had before and will last for years. But ambition, it's the lack of ambition which cripples most people and makes them so pedestrian in the advertising creative business.
Now let's talk about big ideas. Big ideas. Now that's what the advertising business is really all about. That's what the advertising business is all about. Big ideas.
Same Ford Galaxy, same speed. If platformate really works, we ought to go farther. Here's where we stopped before, but with platformate, we keep right on going. We do everything we can at Shell to make our sign stand for excellence.